And I grew up with lilac bushes in the backyard in Indiana, and my mother would talk to her plants.
Oh, beautiful.
I get it. I understand it. I really do, Kelly. But but the lilac that my mother grew became this monstrous leggy bush that bloomed maybe 2 weeks out of the year.
Right.
And that was it. This is Cottage Farms. This is a reblooming purple lilac. And it grows in a tidy type of a bush. It doesn't become massively overbearing, doesn't become too leggy. And you get flowers, which means you get perfume for a much, much greater portion of the year. If you are just tuning in, I love this new technology, by the way.
I do too. It's kind of fun.
Okay, I was the guy 2 weeks ago who was telling my wife, you know, I miss a good flip phone. And now, now we are live in Des Moines, Iowa, where this kind gentleman resides. And this is Kelly Norris. Kelly is the horticultural director for all of Cottage Farms. And you are home safe and sound. Tell us a little bit about traditional lilac and this reblooming, because we're not talking about getting twice as many flowers or 3 times as many.
We're talking about more than that, right? I mean, because this is a variety, this Flowerfesta series, and we sold a pink one the other day. This is the purple sister of the pink one. This whole series of new breeding in lilacs makes sure that the joy and the pleasure that your grandma enjoyed with those lilacs in spring lasts all season long. And here's the deal. There's a lot of reblooming lilacs now on the market. You know, folks have probably heard that phrase before. Yep. But here's the thing about this breeding. You know, sometimes even when they rebloom, some of those other varieties kind of start to peter out by the end of the season. They look kind of like little whimpers, right? But this breeding, this Flowerfesta breeding, really charges on all the way into fall. And what I love about that is that if you do look forward to the color, and especially the fragrance of lilacs, to be able to count on these to rebloom so reliably all the way through summer and even into fall when they actually kind of tick up again because the nights are cooler, etc. Yep. You know, what a beautiful thing to look forward to. This is the purple one. We may have a few of the pink one left on QVC.com. You'll have to check, but this is new breeding we're very excited about. This is this Flowerfesta purple lilac.
Kelly, I got to tell you, we're down to, we have less than 1,000 of the purple variety that are even available to us anymore. If you drive up the country lane that is my farm, you have to come across a bridge. There's a creek right in the front yard. And I have a lilac bush planted in my mother's honor and my grandmother's honor, right there at the entrance, so that as you come in, it's the first thing you notice. And for those 2 weeks that particular variety would bloom, it's magical. But now you just get more of the better. And I apologize that I'm turning my back, but he's over there and you at home are, this is actually my good side. Yeah. So take a look at the bush itself, because it doesn't go wild. It will top out at what, about 6 feet, 7 feet tops?
Yeah, even maybe a little bit smaller than that for folks. You know, that's the nice thing too about this breeding. I didn't say earlier is not only does it rebloom and we get to enjoy the romance and the magic of lilacs all season long, but it's a pretty tidy plant, and that's nice because we know a lot of folks out there just frankly don't have always a lot of space to garden in. Got a little foundation planting. Maybe they have that little postage stamp in front of their condo or their apartment building where they've got just a little bit of space to do some meaningful planting. And like you say, what a great plant, not only if it's going to rebloom but stay a nice size, but to plant in memory of somebody, or to maybe share with a friend if they've lost a loved one recently, or a plant that just brings back fond memories of a happier time. You know, lilacs are one of those quintessential plants in so many ways, and an emblem of spring. And now you get to enjoy it through spring, through summer, and fall with this Flowerfesta series.
It's the only plant that I can think of that the flower is the name of the flower and the definition of the color. And the perfume is so easily recognizable. Out of all of our senses, our sense of taste, sense of touch, hearing, our sense of smell is the one that is most closely linked to memory. And I've just gotten to the point where anytime I smell lilac, I think of my mom, I think of my grandmother, and the idea that I got 2 little grandbabies that are the cutest little girls you'll ever meet, that when they walk up to this bush, they will never forget that sweet fragrance. And this is actually a hardier plant than the ancient variety of lilac that my mother and grandmother would have planted. This is actually much more winter hardy than those were that I grew up with.
Right. This is what's called a Meyer lilac, or a type of Meyer lilac, which are very cold hardy. Not only are their stems cold hardy, their buds are cold hardy as well. Des Moines, Iowa is a cold place, and so we have to be able, like so many other parts of the country, to know that when we make a planting choice, that we make a choice that's going to hang around and going to do really well for a long time. And the nice thing about this Flowerfesta series and the colors that we're offering here from Cottage Farms is they do bring all of that sort of, that kind of classic romantic aspect of lilacs into a modern plant that's tough, that's cold hardy, that's disease resistant, and doesn't get big and gnarly like those old varieties of lilacs, right? This stays at a really nice size for small gardens.
And also in containers. And I think more and more people are planting in containers. It used to be if you lived in a thriving metropolis and you were on the 23rd floor, the idea of planting anything just seemed foreign. Now, maybe that small concrete deck with a metal railing is your outdoor sanctuary. And
that's right. This
will waft through your home if you wanted to. You open the screen door, you share it with neighbors. It is the floral version of singing on your balcony in Italy to the neighbors right now.
It's exactly right.
Yeah, we've had over 1,000 of you who have picked it up. We don't have that many left now, fewer than 800 total for the remaining portion of our month. At $22.70, I urge you again, use Easy Pay, and if you have a Q card, use that Q card, because that Q card is going to give you 6 Easy Pay payments. I want to get my numbers right, Brian. $3.78 per payment. And if you don't have a Q card, I have a limited number of operators who are indeed still standing by at our call centers. The process is easy. It only takes a few minutes to be approved. You can use it immediately for a purchase. And I think there's even a $20 credit that'll go into your account. Now, it doesn't happen right away because it's electronic, but you'll be able to use that 20 bucks on us coming up in the near future. I have got what I consider to be one of the most significant plants that any human being can grow. That'll be coming up a little bit later on in our program. We're going to talk about, in this case, what I think is one of the most interesting plants you will ever see. And I also want to put in a little promotional plug, if I can, Kelly.